Hello everyone, warm welcome to Super Coaching Regulatory Bodies YouTube channel by Testbook. My name is Madhav Sir. I welcome you all in a very important session where we are going to discuss the most important current affairs for the date, that is 5th and 6th of August. So before I start with the discussion, I hope you all have watched this session which I have given you in the recorded form in the video section, that was basically related to the Banking Laws Amendment Act. So the PDF of that particular session is now available on the Telegram channel, so you can download the PDF as well. And if you have any doubt regarding any of the point which we are discussing on regular basis, you can ask me even in the class, even you can ask the doubt after the session in the comment section. So guys, if we are good to go, just give me yes sir so that we can begin the discussion. I hope now I'm audible, visible, everything is fine. Good to go. Okay. So guys, today we have three news which we will be discussing in detail, and we have the fourth and fifth news which we will be discussing in brief because of the probability that it will be asked in the examination in a very limited manner. So whatsoever is important for your examination point of view, that will be delivered to you in the form of MCQ only. So technically we will be covering 5 news in this session, and I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy this and you are going to learn many new things which has a great probability that it will be asked not only in phase 1, but there are few news which has a probability that it can be asked in phase 2 examination as well. Got it? Shall we begin the discussion? Just give me yes sir. Okay, here we go with the first news of the evening. The first news is now on your screen. The news talks about the latest initiatives which have been announced by RBI Governor. But before I jump to the latest initiatives which have been announced by Sanjay Malhotra ji, let's quickly revise 3 questions from the previous session which I have given you as a homework. Identify the correct statement regarding the UPI auto pay transaction retries and recipient validation. So pending transaction status can be checked only 3 times a day within a gap of minimum 90 seconds. That is true. UPI autopay transactions are permitted only during the non-peak hours. So this is wrong. After an autopay failure, up to 3 additional retry attempts are allowed. That is true. Recipient registered name must be displayed before confirming any UPI transaction. That is true. A failed transaction can be retried 6 times. No sir, it can be retried 3 times. So answer is going to be ACD is absolutely correct. Next question. Consider the following statement about the unclaimed dividend and IEPF provisions. Which of the following statement is correct? Unclaimed dividends are transferred to IEPF if they remain unpaid for 7 consecutive years. Updating nomination details is a preventive step to avoid transfer of assets to IEPF. That is correct. IEPF was set up under the Companies Act 2013. That is true. IEPF also runs other initiatives like Niveshak Didi, Niveshak Panchayat. That is also correct. So answer to this particular question is, so 2, 3, 4, 5 options are correct. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2, 3, 4 and 5 statements are correct, but the first statement, that is incorrect. Remember that. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following factors contributed to the overall slowdown in the India's bank credit growth in June 2025? Tight monetary policy and high repo rate increase the borrowing cost. This is true. So this is last time ना मैंने आपके comments देखे थे. उन comments में आपने कहा कि सर ऐसा क्यों? देखो ये जो comparison है ना guys, this comparison is done from June 2024 का comparison हो रहा है June 2025 के साथ. तो June 2024 से पहले जो monetary norms थी, they were still I would say pretty lenient. लेकिन अगर आप जून 2025 से लेकर February 2000 अगर आप जून 2024 से लेकर February 2025 तक देखें, during that particular time monetary policy was very tight, and in January there was such a tight situation that in January RBI has to increase the liquidity in the market. So in सारे scenarios की वजह से the term tight monetary policy is used. That is basically referring this timeline which is before February 2025, before the reduction of repo rate which has been done. ठीक है जी, क्लियर रहेगा ये पॉइंट? तो जो लोगों ने ये डाउट मुझसे पूछा था, आई होप ये डाउट अब क्लियर होगा. So tight monetary policy and high repo rate increased borrowing cost. Strong rural demand boosted agriculture lending. Okay. Consumer showed little bit of point of concern in borrowing for big ticket of items like car and home. NBFCs, they face liquidity constraints affecting the service sector lending. That is true. Global economic slowdown impacted the industrial credit demand. That is true. So only and only the second statement is incorrect. Why it is incorrect? Because which of the following factors contributed to slowdown? Strong rural demand has not resulted in slowdown of the economy. Slowdown of economy has been done because of 1, 3, 4, 5 statements. So answer is going to be A option. ठीक है जी, clear हो गया? चलो, let's get started with the first news of the evening. The first news is now on your screen. The news talks about the latest announcement which has been done by RBI. So we all know that recently RBI has announced, RBI has talked about its monetary policy. So August month monetary policy was presented, and in that August month monetary policy there was no change. If I talk about repo rate, sir, it was remained the same, that is 5.5%. अब अगर पॉलिसी रेट चेंज नहीं हुआ तो ऑटोमेटिकली इट्स क्वाइट ऑब्वियस कि जो हमारा SDF है, दैट इज स्टैंडिंग डिपॉजिट फैसिलिटी, या फिर जो MSF है, मार्जिनल स्टैंडिंग फैसिलिटी, या फिर बैंक रेट है, दीज रेट्स वर आल्सो द सेम. दिस इज 5.75 एंड दिस इज 5.25%. Not only this, in the latest monetary policy, the estimates which have been given for GDP growth estimates, that have also not changed. They have also remained unchanged, and it was estimated that Indian economy will grow by 6.5% for 2025-26. इसके साथ साथ इन सारी announcements के साथ there were 3 more points which were discussed, and these 3 points which have been discussed, they will undoubtedly deepen the financial inclusion. Now the question is, which 3 points were discussed? So the 3 points which have been discussed in the monetary policy statement announcement is, the first announcement or the first point which has been discussed in this context is very important. Please pay attention. So that is basically related to re-KYC process. I hope you all know this very well. Jan Dhan Yojana. Do you know that? Jan Dhan Yojana. It was introduced in 2014. I can say that this was the first scheme which was initiated by the newly elected Prime Minister of the country, that was Narendra Modi ji, in 2014, and this Yojana has allowed the public to open up savings account, and these saving accounts were offered without any minimum balance. But many of the Jan Dhan accounts which have been opened, they are not in an operative scenario, they are not operational, or their KYC is still pending. So in order to operationalize or regularize these accounts, there has been an initiative taken where there is a process of simplifying the re-KYC process. Now the re-KYC process has simplified up to such an extent that camps are being set up in the rural and semi-urban areas, so that public, they can reach to the camps and they can get their re-KYC done, so that they can utilize the services of their bank account. This is the first initiative which has been talked in the current monetary policy statement. Second initiative which has been talked in the monetary policy statement, that is RBI is now coming up with, or RBI will come up with a standardized claim against the deposit accounts which are holded by the individuals who have passed away. So if an individual passes away, there are different points, there are different formats, there are different I would say procedures which are followed by different banks. But in order to overcome this, RBI ने कहा भैया इस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करना होगा. तो RBI ने कहा मैं एक ड्राफ्ट कम जल्दी लेकर आऊंगा. उस ड्राफ्ट में मैं बताऊंगा कि क्या स्टैंडर्ड होने चाहिए, जिन स्टैंडर्ड्स को सारे की सारी रेगुलेटेड एंटिटीज फॉलो करेंगी. बट for this draft, I will invite the public feedback, and once I receive the public feedback, I will be coming up with the final guidelines. तीसरा जो announcement है, that is related to retail direct platform of government securities. What is this retail direct platform government securities? इसका मतलब ये है कि जैसा कि हम जानते हैं, who is responsible to issue the government securities. We all know that, sir, RBI is responsible to issue the government securities. Now, RBI has allowed the individuals like you and me to open up gilt accounts, which we call it as retail gilt accounts. And with the help of these retail gilt accounts, the individuals like you and me, we can apply, even we can participate in the auction for government securities purchased directly from RBI. Government securities purchased directly from RBI, and once you have purchased the security from RBI, you can sell it in the secondary market. That is possible. अब RBI ने कहा कि ये जो retail direct platform है ना, RBI will allow the public to go for systematic investment plan where you can go for auto pay feature. That means every month, whenever the government securities will be issued by RBI, automatically your application will be raised. Automatically you will participate in the auction, and if you get the government security, that security will be credited into your accounts. In order to simplify as well as increase the public investment in the government securities, this newest or the latest initiative has been taken. Nothing to worry, we'll discuss these initiatives one by one in much detail, लेकिन मैंने आपको ओवरऑल जो स्टोरी है वो सुना दी. तो पहला पॉइंट क्या कहता है? पहला पॉइंट कहता है कि सर री केवाईसी कैंपेन. सो ड्यूरेशन रहेगा इस कैंपेन का फ्रॉम 1 जुलाई टू 30th of September 2025, और इसका लोकेशन रहेगा पंचायत लेवल अक्रॉस इंडिया. It is basically introduced on the celebration of 10-year anniversary of Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana accounts, which was introduced back in August 2014. So RBI directed banks to organize doorstep banking campaigns in rural and semi-urban areas so that they can reconduct re-KYC for the existing account holders. Not only this, जिन लोगों के पास अभी भी प्रधानमंत्री जनधन अकाउंट्स नहीं है, उन्हें नए अकाउंट्स भी ऑफर किए जाएंगे अंडर दिस पर्टिकुलर कैंपेन. नॉट ओनली दिस, गवर्नमेंट विल इवन ऑफर through the campaign the extra services of Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, which is a life insurance of 2 lakh rupees. Then we have Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, which is an accidental insurance of 2 lakh rupees. And then we have the Atal Pension Yojana, where you can apply, and it is a saving. It is basically a saving contribution scheme. What is saving contribution scheme? कि सर आप contribute करेंगे till the age of 40 years, and after 60 years you will be getting the pension on regular basis. Depending upon your pension demand, you have to contribute those funds as per the requirement. And now, what will be the significance? And it will bring unbanked rural citizens into the formal financial system. It will reduce account dormancy, that means declaration of account as a dormant account, and it will enhance digital banking participation. It will also promote microfinance as well as micro insurance and retirement savings under these 3 schemes which have been mentioned over here. तो अगर आपको याद हो तो सबसे पहले प्रधानमंत्री जनधन योजना आई, उसके बाद प्रधानमंत्री सुरक्षा बीमा योजना, प्रधानमंत्री जीवन ज्योति बीमा योजना और अटल पेंशन योजना. These all were launched simultaneously in May 2025. और अब पहला पॉइंट, इन अकाउंट होल्डर्स का री केवाईसी करना. दूसरा, जिनके पास ये अकाउंट नहीं है उन्हें अकाउंट ऑफर करना. एंड थर्ड इज offer these insurance services to the public with the help of the campaigns which have been launched under this particular initiative. Moving on to the second point. The second point is simplified claim settlement process for deceased customer. So in order to streamline and standardize, इसमें ज़्यादा डिटेल में बात करने की ज़रूरत है नहीं, क्योंकि अभी RBI डिटेल में बताया जाएगा कि डिटेल में कैसे होगा स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन. लेकिन पॉइंट बस इतना ही है कि अगर आपके पास एक डिपॉजिट अकाउंट है, and unfortunately if you pass away, then on your behalf your legal heirs or maybe your nominees, they come up and they try to claim the funds, but the procedure of claiming the funds is pretty different for different banks. So in order to standardize it, RBI will be coming up with a draft, and then that draft will be accepted by the public, and after the public feedback the final guidelines will be given. अगर आपको याद हो तो recently under the Banking Law Amendment Act 2025, for the case of nominee, there has been an update. An update is now you can appoint up to 4 nominees. I hope you remember 4 nominees you can appoint for your deposit accounts as well as your lockers, that is your deposit lockers or safe lockers. and the nominees, they will be nominated in two formats, either simultaneous nomination or successive nomination. Simultaneous का मतलब सबको simultaneously nomination मिलेगा depending upon the percentage which is fixed, and sequential means you will be giving the preference किसके मरने पे सबसे पहले किसे preference मिलेगी, that is a point. ठीक है. So what's going to change? RBI will soon release a draft for public consultation proposing a simplified documentation and processing framework. It will cover deposit accounts, contents held in safe custody, safe deposit lockers, all will be included so that a simplified process for the claim generation can be introduced. Third point related to the second point related to the same one is legal basis, and it will be done under the Banking Regulation Act 1949. What will be its impact? Faster release of funds to nominee, reduce court cases and grievances, ensure smoother intergenerational transfer of financial assets, and it will enhance the trust in the banking system, sensitivity towards customer families. These are going to be the impacts. Moving on to the third point. What was the third point? So that is related to retail digital platform. इस बात पे आगे बढ़ने से पहले I'll take 2 minutes of yours. I would like to discuss this point, retail digital, with you all. If you know it, then just give me a minute. It will be a quick revision for you. But if you don't know, then you will be learning very new concept for the very first time, and I can assure you this concept will never be taught again on any of the platforms which are available, because ये ऐसा एक concept है जिसको ज़्यादातर ignore किया जाता है because it is kind of difficult to explain. But I'll try my level best, as always I do. I will be explaining the entire concept in a very simplified manner. ठीक है? I'll start with the word retail direct platform. What is this retail direct? So retail direct term was introduced. Retail direct word was basically introduced under retail direct scheme, and this retail direct scheme was introduced back in November 2021. It was introduced back in November 2021. अब पॉइंट आता है कि इसमें क्या क्या ऐसे पॉइंट्स है जो हमें याद रखने होंगे. सर ये जो स्कीम लॉन्च की गई इसके तहत इंडिविजुअल्स को, लाइक यू एंड मी, they were allowed to open up gilt accounts with RBI. What is gilt account? So gilt account is basically an account with the help of which you can apply for government securities on the RBI e-platform, which we call it as e-Kuber. Now the individuals, they can invest in government securities, not only long term, but you can invest in the short term government securities like T-bills as well. So participate with the help of this gilt account. Public now they can purchase the government securities directly from the RBI, and we call it as primary market, and later on after you purchase it you can sell it obviously in the secondary market. तो जैसे आप शेयर परचेज करते हैं थ्रू IPO, बिल्कुल उसी तरह यहाँ पर आप डायरेक्टली इशूअर से you can purchase the government securities, and we call it as retail direct. So the point over here is, what will be the benefit of this particular update? So what update has been done? So the update has been done that if you are holding a gilt account, in that particular case, you can apply, or you can come up with an investors, they will be now allowed, or they will be able to automatically place bid for treasury bills. Now you can auto place bid for treasury bills. तो जो treasury bills issue होंगे RBI द्वारा, जो कि short term securities है, उसके लिए जो हमारे gilt edge account holders हैं, they can automatically bid, and we call it as systematic investment plan. For example, I have opted for 10,000 rupees of systematic investment plan, तो 10,000 के लिए automatic मेरी bid place होगी, and if I get the bid, or if I qualify the criteria, then I will be allotted with treasury bills worth 10,000 rupees, or worth equivalent, which is being issued nearest to the value of 10,000. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गया पॉइंट? मुझे लगता नहीं है कि इसमें कोई डाउट होगा. So this is something which you need to remember. So retail direct systematic investment plan in treasury bills, obviously it will encourage the public to invest in the retail segment, and it will develop a diversified retail market in the country, or I would say diversified retail government security market in the country. This is what you need to remember. ठीक है, इस कहानी में एक चीज और है जो आपको याद रखनी होगी, वो क्या, ये जो ट्रेजरी बिल्स हैं, these are the short term government securities which have a maturity of up to 364 days. 365 एक साल हो गया, तो इसलिए एक साल को इग्नोर करने के लिए एक सेफ क्राइटेरिया दे दिया, दैट इज 365 4 डेज. एक साल किसमें आएगा, बिल में या बॉन्ड, उस प्रॉब्लम को ही रिजॉल्व कर दिया बाय सेइंग दैट इट विल बी वैलिड अप टू 364 days. It is available in 91 days maturity or 182 days maturity or 364 days maturity. Got it? Now let's quickly conclude the discussion. So retail direct SIP was the point I was discussing here. So investors will now be able to automatically place bids for treasury bills via systematic investment plan on the retail direct platform. It encourages consistent retail participation, helps in small investors to automate and diversify the portfolio, strengthen government ability to raise funds, and it will promote financial literacy and bond market depth. Clear होगी बातें, समझ आ गया? तो अभी अगर हम बात करें तो recently RBI has come up with 3 new announcements which will deepen the financial inclusion aspects of the economy of India, which include doorstep re-KYC camps, simplified claim settlement, and retail direct systematic investment plan in treasury bills. If it is clear, give me yes sir, so that I can move ahead and then we will be solving a question on the same. But before I jump to a question on the same news, if I ask you what were the reasons behind all these initiatives, so the reasons behind all these initiatives were, the first one, completion of 10 years of the प्रधानमंत्री जन धन योजना, ये एक बड़ा रीजन बना जिसकी वजह से ये इनिशिएटिव्स लिए गए. दूसरा रीजन है एड्रेसिंग ऑपरेशनल बॉटलनेक्स. अब क्वेश्चन ये कि सर ऑपरेशनल बॉटलनेक्स का मतलब मेनी रूरल और अनबैंक्ड इंडिविजुअल्स दे स्टिल फेस चैलेंज इन अपडेटिंग देयर केवाईसी ड्यू टू मोबिलिटी, maybe due to documentation, or maybe due to the awareness issue. So in order to overcome this operational bottleneck, and even for claim settlements after the death of the account holder, they are often delayed due to complicated bank specific process. तो ये जो bottlenecks हैं, operational bottlenecks हैं, उन्हें address करने के लिए these initiatives have been taken. Then we have boosting retail investor participation through systematic investment plan, and lastly promoting the trust in the financial system of the country. अब इसका impact क्या हुआ? So I have the impact of all the 3 initiatives. Please watch it very carefully. I'm removing my image. So if I talk about the impact, guys, in that particular scenario, if I talk about the impact in that particular scenario, you need to understand what will be the impact of the first one, that is re-KYC. If I come up with the re-KYC wala part, according to you, what is the impact of re-KYC on the economy of the country? Any idea? Anyone? Any idea? Anyone? What do you understand? According to me, guys, if you ask me, according to me, the impact is 1.05 lakh banking campaigns were conducted across the Gram Panchayat in just 1 month from July to August, which has resulted in 14.22 lakh accounts re-KYC, 6 lakh plus new Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana accounts, 22 lakh plus insurance and pension enrollments under these 3 schemes. So अगर कोई पूछे कि ये जो पहला initiative लिया गया, that is setting up the or in launching the campaigns for re-KYC wala format, what is the impact? This is the impact. This is just for your reading reference. Don't try to mug up the content, that is not required. Second point is, what will be the benefit of this simplified claim settlement? It will result in faster and more uniform disposal of deceased account holders' fund across the banks. It will reduce legal disputes. It will lower down the administrative burden on banks as well as the legal years. What will be the impact of systematic investment plan? It will empower small investors to invest in risk-free government securities. It will promote saving culture, and it will deepen the retail bond market or retail government security market in the economy. Got it? Here we go with the first question. The first question is now on your screen. Give me the answer. Let's see who all can give me the correct answer. The question says over 10.05 lakh campaigns were organized at Gram Panchayat across India. No, sir. Total number of campaigns are 1.045 lakhs. It was launched to celebrate 10 years of Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. That is true. Primary focus was only on resolving customer grievances. Nahin, sir. Primary focus is to do the KYC or re-KYC. The initiative encouraged enrollments in Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti, Suraksha Bima and Atal Pension Yojana. That is true. It will be carried out from 1st of July to 30th of September 2025. That is true. So my answer would be B, D and E. I'll go with B, D and E. Saloni, absolutely correct. Anuj, Kunal, correct. Let's move on to the next news. The next news is related to RBI relaxed norms for special Rupee Vostro accounts. I hope you all know that what is Vostro account, what is Nostro account. Vostro account basically means your account with us. What does it mean? It means that a bank in Russia, let's call it as Russia R bank, let's call it R bank, is opening up an account in SBI, and obviously this account will be opened up in India when one of the branch of SBI, and this account has been opened up in INR, that is in Indian rupees. We call these kind of accounts are what? So these kind of accounts, they are called as special rupee accounts. And what will be the benefit of these accounts? So these accounts will be beneficial for international trade settlement. International trade settlement means if we are purchasing, if we as a Indian, I am importing from Russia. So rather than paying the foreign currency, I will be depositing Indian rupees into the R bank, and R bank will be making the payment to the individual in Russia in the Russian currency. On the other side, if Russia is importing from India, then in that particular case, the Russian will pay to the Russian bank in the Russian currency, and Russian bank's account in India will make the payment in INR to the Indian exporter. So in this particular manner, we call it as INR or international rupee settlement. That means international transactions. That means international transactions are settled down in INR itself without depending on any of the second or third foreign currency. So if a bank wants to open up a Vostro account in Indian bank, in that particular case, earlier RBI approval was required. Without RBI approval, none of the bank all around the country can offer a Vostro account to a foreign bank. But now RBI has revised this guideline, and RBI has come up with the statement that RBI has removed the requirement of prior approval to open special Rupee Vostro accounts for foreign correspondent banks. This means that Indian banks, they can now open SRVAs, that is special Rupee Vostro accounts, directly without RBI prior approval. Special Rupee Vostro accounts are designated accounts held by Indian banks for foreign banks to facilitate international trade settlements in the Indian rupees. So Vostro account और स्पेशल रुपी वॉस्ट्रो अकाउंट में क्या डिफरेंस है? तो सर कोई बड़ा डिफरेंस नहीं है, बस कॉन्सेप्चुअल डिफरेंस नहीं है, सिर्फ और सिर्फ ऑपरेशनल डिफरेंस है. वो भी क्या, जब ऐसा अकाउंट बनाया जाए जिसे बनाया गया फॉर द सोल मोटिव ऑफ इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड सेटलमेंट, वी कॉल इट एज स्पेशल रुपी वॉस्ट्रो अकाउंट, अदरवाइज विल कॉल इट एज ओनली वॉस्ट्रो अकाउंट. अब इसका बेनिफिट क्या होगा? सर इट विल एनेबल एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट ट्रांजैक्शंस टू बी सेटल्ड इन INR. It will reduce dependency on currency like US dollars or euro. It will promote internationalization of Indian rupees. It will increase the demand of international rupees. It will increase the demand of Indian rupees all over the globe, and it will enhance the trade with countries under sanctions like Russia, or it will also enhance the trade with the countries which possess limited access to US dollars. Now they can easily trade with India without depending on US dollars, without needing US dollars to complete a transaction with the nation. So earlier there was a mandatory condition that if you want to open up, if I am a bank in India and I want to offer a special rupee Vostro account to any of the foreign banking correspondent, I need to take the permission from RBI. Without RBI permission, it was not allowed. लेकिन RBI ने कहा भैया permission लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, directly आप चाहें तो account open कर सकते हैं. This will result in what? So this will encourage the wider adaptation or wider use of INR for global trade. It will remove procedural delays. It will support bilateral trade. It will strengthen financial sovereignty and it will boost the ease of doing business in the country. समझ आ गई कहानी? Nothing much, pretty easy news. कोई रॉकेट साइंस नहीं है. सिंपल है कि अगर कोई वॉस्ट्रो अकाउंट ओपन होगा, पहले जो आरबीआई के अप्रूवल रिक्वायर्ड थे, अब आरबीआई का अप्रूवल रिक्वायर्ड नहीं है. विदाउट आरबीआई अप्रूवल दीज अकाउंट्स कैन बी ओपन अप इजिली. देयर इज नो इशू. समझ आ गई कहानी? इज दिस पॉइंट क्लियर? इफ इट इज क्लियर जस्ट गिव मी यस सर. इफ इट इज क्लियर जस्ट गिव मी यस सर. चलो क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करें. लेट्स ट्राई टू सॉल्व अ क्वेश्चन on the same. Before I go, if in a descriptive format or maybe in a objective format, if a question is asked what are the benefits of special Rupee Vostro account, then it is beneficial for Indian exporters, it is beneficial for foreign buyers, it is beneficial for banks and economy. Exporter के लिए कैसे? Sir, exporters they can report proceeds in INR which will reduce exchange rate risk. Foreign buyers they can make payment in INR, facilitating trade even when they do not have access to USD, that is US dollars. Banks, how it is beneficial for bank? It will reduce forex cost and faster settlement cycles. And economy, it will result in less dependency of economy on US dollars, which will improve currency's capacity, capability and self sustainability in the global economy. Overall, if I talk about the economic and strategic impact, geopolitical, please pay attention. It will help to bypass the Western sanctions, which is very important. It will strengthen India's position in South-South trade. In terms of financial market, it will boost demand for INR internationally. It will contribute to the goal of rupee internationalization. Trade ecosystem, it will encourage MSMEs to explore new exports market and allow faster integration with the regional trade blocks. So these are going to be the overall benefits of special Rupee Vostro accounts. तो ये accounts तो पहले भी थे, लेकिन अब इनको अगर बनाना आसान हो गया तो obviously इनके जो benefits हैं वो और ज़्यादा मिलेंगे आपकी economy को. Required भी है, keeping in mind the current trade scenarios, current tariff scenarios, current geopolitical scenarios, current geographical fragmentations in the country. These kind of initiatives are well required, well needed by the economy like India, which is an emerging economy. क्यों? हम emerging economy है, we want to grow and our growth is not possible without a good volume of export. So in order to support a good volume of export, we need to explore new markets, and in order to explore new markets, we need to reach them. We need to reach them by bypassing the Western sanctions, by bypassing the constraint of US dollar availability. So that is a point which has been introduced over here. Moving on to the next one. Which of the following statements correctly describe special Rupee Vostro account mechanism introduced by RBI? Special Rupee Vostro account mechanism introduced by RBI. The first one. Special Rupee Vostro account was introduced by RBI in 2020. Was that a case? Was it introduced in 2020? Say yes or no. We have just discussed it. No, sir, it was introduced back in 2022. It was not introduced in 2020. It was introduced in 2022. Special Rupee Vostro account are used to settle international trade transactions in Indian rupees. That is true. Prior to August 2025, bank needs RBI approval to open up SVRA account. That is true. SVRA reduces the dependency on freely convertible currency. That is true. SVRA are mandatory for exporters dealing with non-dollar trade. ऐसा कुछ नहीं, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. So answer is going to be B, C, D. Gaurav has given the correct answer. Kunal, correct. Very good. Saloni, Anuj, Chandrika, very good. You all have given the correct answers. Good. Let's move on to the next news. I hope you all have heard about this term IRCTC, which stands for Indian Railway Catering and Tourism Corporation. So in August 2025, Reserve Bank of India has given in principle approval to none other than IRCTC Payment Limited, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of IRCTC, to operate as an online payment aggregator. I hope you all know what is online payment aggregator. So payment aggregators, these are the entities that facilitate e-commerce platforms and merchants to accept various digital payments. So digital पेमेंट एग्रीगेटर्स क्या होते हैं सर? ये वो अथॉरिटीज है, ये वो ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं विच प्रोवाइड अ प्लेटफॉर्म to the e-commerce as well as the merchants so that they can accept various digital payments which will act as a bridge between the merchant as and a payment gateway. They are regulated to ensure consumer fund protection, timely settlement and risk management. तो basically payment aggregator का काम है मर्चेंट और पेमेंट गेटवे के बीच का जो ब्रिज है वो बनना, ताकि मर्चेंट की इंफॉर्मेशन पेमेंट गेटवे तक, पेमेंट गेटवे की इंफॉर्मेशन मर्चेंट तक, सो दैट द ट्रांजैक्शंस कैन बी डन एंड सेटलमेंट विल ऑफ द फंड्स विल बी डन बाय द हेल्प ऑफ दीज पेमेंट एग्रीगेटर्स. तो IRCTC की एक wholly owned subsidiary है which we call it as IRCTC Payment Limited. IRCTC Payments Limited, and IRCTC Payments Limited is a wholly owned subsidiary of Indian Railway Catering and Tourism Corporation, which will be operating now as an online payment aggregator as per the approval given by RBI under the Payment and Settlement System Act 2007. In principle approval has been given, and remember that if I talk about IRCTC, what is it, sir? IRCTC is basically a company which is owned by IRCTC, which is a mini Ratan central public sector enterprises under the Ministry of Railways. IRCTC Payments is a specified digital arm focused on facilitating seamless online payment infrastructure, particularly for transport, tourism and related services. With this approval, IRCTC Payment Limited is now authorized to, first point, it will provide online transaction facility to the customers as well as merchants. It will pool and settle customer funds, temporarily hold the customer funds in an escrow account, settle the payments with the merchants after defined interval, and this is basically the core function of a licensed payment aggregator. Remember that if I talk about the existing payment infrastructure, then there is a term which we call it as IRCTC iPay. What is this? So IRCTC is already running IRCTC iPay, which is a homegrown payment gateway which supports multiple payment modes like debit card, credit card, internet banking, UPI, process transaction for its ticketing and tourism services. However, with the payment aggregator license, now the company will be empowered to expand its services beyond current scope, potentially offering payment solutions not only to their own merchants but also to the external merchants for a broader e-commerce establishments as well. ठीक है जी, clear हो गया point, easy है, nothing to worry in this. So this will encourage the market confidence because RBI has recognized it. Digital commerce enablement, it will be operating as a fintech player in the economy. License open avenue beyond the railway merchants as well as the railway commerce system, and it will enhance the security and oversight because it is regulated under Payment and Settlement System Act 2007, which will provide data protection, anti-fraud and transaction monitoring norms. Question is now on your screen. Which of the following statement about IRCTC Payment Limited in principle approval by RBI as an online payment aggregator are correct? IRCTC is a wholly owned subsidiary of Maharatan PSU. No, sir. IRCTC is a mini Ratan PSU, so it's not a wholly owned subsidiary of Maharatan, it's a subsidiary of Mini Ratan. Approval was granted under Payment and Settlement System Act 2007. License allows IRCTC payment to settle transaction between customer and merchant. IRCTC currently operates its own payment system called iPay, that is IRCTC iPay. That is absolutely correct, nothing wrong in that. Then I move on to the next statement. The final operational license has been already issued, enabling commercial rollout. That is true. So the final operational license has already been issued. नहीं सर, अभी तो अप्रूवल मिला कि you will be operating, but अभी operations को initiate करने के लिए जो final कहते हैं ना कि from tomorrow onwards you can start your operation, वो भी नहीं मिला. So in that particular case, I'll go with B option. 2, 3, 4 are correct. Fifth and first option are incorrect. ठीक है जी. Last news in the form of a question. अब ये news ऐसी थी कि इसमें detailed discussion required था नहीं. So I have come up with a question on this. With the help of this question only, we will help to we will help to understand the news. So recently, PFRDA, that is Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority of India, has launched or upgraded its website, and this website upgrade has been done by PFRDA under PFRDA Connect. So they have updated their website under a campaign, and the name of that campaign under which this updation has been done, that has been called as what? So that has been called as PFRDA Connect. So S. Raman, the chairman of PFRDA, has announced about this particular update. So PFRDA, which is a statutory body operating under Ministry of Finance, has launched revamped as well as modern website to offer more digital engagement as well as transparency in the pension ecosystem. So this is in alignment with the Digital India mission, and it aims basically to provide efficient and accessible services to the pension subscribers across the country. अब इस वेबसाइट पे क्या क्या होगा सर? इस पे एक CMS होगा, that is Content Management System, which will enable real-time updates and easier content publishing by the administrator. दूसरा इस पे डिवाइस रिस्पॉन्सिव होगा, मोबाइल फ्रेंडली डिजाइन होगा विद डायनामिक लेआउट जो कि सूटेबल होगा, चाहे आप मोबाइल पे यूज करें, चाहे लैपटॉप पे, चाहे फिर डेस्कटॉप पे. सिंप्लीफाइड आर्किटेक्चर होगा फॉर यूजर फ्रेंडली नेविगेशन, और इट विल अलाउ द पेंशनर्स टू क्विकली फाइंड circulars as well as notification and schemes through a enhanced search engine which will be available on this website. It will be connected with the other regulatory and financial platforms which will enhance interagency coordination. And lastly, single point access होगा for all the regulatory circulars जो कि है schemes like National Pension Scheme या Atal Pension Scheme या जितने भी public notice है related to pension, all of them will be available on this website itself. Technically अगर मैं बात करूं तो इसमें कुछ points है, जैसे कि GIGW, as you can see on the screen. GIGW stands for Government Website Guidelines. So Government Website Guideline means it will ensure usability, security and scalability for Indian government portals. Then we have WCAG, that is Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. That means it will guarantee access for users with disability, vital for public services, that will also be provided. किया क्यों किया ऐसा इसलिए किया सर, ट्रांसपेरेंसी को बढ़ाने के लिए, एक्सेसिबिलिटी, एफिशिएंसी एंड गवर्नमेंट इंपैक्ट को बढ़ाने के लिए these changes have been done. Now let's try to decode the answer. The website is hosted on the cloud server maintained privately by PFRDA without any third party. तो अगर मैं इस वेबसाइट की होस्टिंग की बात करूं, it is hosted on virtual private cloud which is vetted by Ministry of Electronics and IT. So on that particular basis, अगर हम उस इंफॉर्मेशन को यहाँ पे इंक्लूड करें, so on that particular basis it's quite obvious the first statement is incorrect, क्योंकि ये जो होस्टिंग हुई है, दिस होस्टिंग का मतलब है कि वेबसाइट जो बनाई गई है वो कहाँ बनाई गई है सर? वो बनाई गई है एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे, और अगर मैं उस प्लेटफॉर्म की बात करूं सर, दैट प्लेटफॉर्म इज वर्चुअल पेमेंट क्लाउड. दैट प्लेटफॉर्म इज वर्चुअल प्राइवेट क्लाउड, PVC, और दिस होस्टिंग is vetted by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. It has integrated GIGW, that is Government Website Guidelines. Yes sir. It has integrated WCAG, that is Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. Yes sir. to ensure usability, accessibility, and transparency. That is true. It offers centralized access to pension related regulatory circulars. Yes, sir. Website is primarily built for the use by the internal employees. ऐसा तो नहीं है, sir. ऐसा तो नहीं है. It is for the public. So it's not for the internal employees. It features a responsive design that work across. Yes, sir. It can be used on different modes of equipments. So answer is going to be B, C, E. These are the three statements. AK is absolutely correct. These are these three statements which are absolutely correct. So these were total news which we have to cover today. I hope each and every point is clear. Do hit the like button if you haven't hit it yet. Do like the session before leaving. And now I will be sharing with you the homework questions. Take the screenshot, try to attempt those homework questions and share the correct answers in the comment section below. First question is now on your screen. This is related to the first news, which is RBI has launched 3 reforms to deepen financial inclusion, August 2025. Take a screenshot. I hope it's done. Done. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Take the screenshot. I hope it's done. Now I'll move on to the last question of the evening. So we have 3 questions which you have to solve and you have to share their answers with me in the comment section below. सॉरी अनिरुद्धा, मैं तो भूल गया था, आपने याद कराया. कर लेते हैं, इस वीक कर लेते हैं. आई होप इस वीकेंड आप भी फ्री होंगे बिकॉज ऑफ रक्षाबंधन सैटरडे, तो संडे को कर लेते हैं. फॉर श्योर आई विल डू इट. दिस संडे यू विल बी गेटिंग द सेशन, सो नथिंग टू वरी. ठीक है, मैं आपको पहले ही इन्फॉर्म कर दूंगा. सैटरडे वाली क्लास से पहले वो सेशन आपका लग चुका होगा. आई एम रियली वेरी सॉरी फॉर द डिले. लास्ट क्वेश्चन, टेक द स्क्रीनशॉट. Last question, take the screenshot and then I'll conclude the discussion. Thank you so much, guys. We'll catch you in the next session. Good luck. God bless you all. See you soon. Bye-bye. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't liked yet. If you have any suggestion, feedback regarding the same, you can share it with me. I will be taking care of each and every suggestion of yours. I will be implementing each and every suggestion of yours. And lastly, do share the answers which I have already given to you. Thank you so much. Good luck. God bless you.